You sit behind the wheel of a matte black 1,200 horsepower Koenigsegg Jesko. The road is nothing but a blur under the headlights. Sirens are ancient history. Helicopters gave up miles ago. The cruise group chat is blowing up. $4.7 million in bets just cleared, money raining in from every corner of the city. You don't smile. You don't even blink. The speedometer is locked at 187 miles per hour, and the only sound that matters is the low growl of the engine that answers only to you. You pull a cigarette from the pack with one hand, light it off the glowing dash, and take a slow drag while the car still eats the highway. Then you whisper one word, cold and final. Next. No rush, no pride, no nothing. Just the quiet knowledge that every cop, every rival, every camera in this state already knows the truth. They'll never catch what you've become. This is your throne now. Pause. You didn't start here. You started at the very bottom of the same asphalt, 19, drenched in cold rain, clutching a cracked phone like it was your only friend, screaming, "Cop!" while the real drivers peeled off and left you choking on their exhaust and their laughter. Every rank between that first pathetic parking lot run and this throne didn't cost you something. It carved it out of you. The sleep you never got back, the family you stopped answering, the friends you either buried or betrayed, and the last pieces of whatever soul you had left, quietly buried and left on the pavement. This is what each rank looked like, and exactly what each one took from you. Rank 1, Rookie/Spotter. You're 19, standing in the pouring rain with a cracked iPhone clutched in your freezing hand, waving cars into a flooded parking lot like some nobody doorman. Your only job is to scream "cop" at the first flicker of blue lights and run faster than every driver who just used you as bait. Nobody knows your name. The drivers don't even look your way when they launch. You're just background noise, the kid who gets soaked while they chase glory. You sleep in the back of your beat-up Honda Civic because your parents still think you stock shelves at Walmart. The smell of rain and exhaust never leaves your clothes, but every single night you memorize everything, every launch RPM, every shift point, every lie the cops spit over their radios. You watch how the real players move, how fear works, how power hides in plain sight. While the others laugh and peel out, you stand there dripping, repeating the same quiet promise in your head like a prayer. One day they'll know my name. You already feel the darkness settling in your chest, the cold understanding that this bottom rung isn't just a starting point. It's the first thing the machine takes from you, and you let it. Rank 2, Driver. You finally get the wheel, a $900 boosted Civic with mismatched tyres, a roll cage welded from scrap and pure hope. They throw you in first every night. The warm-up act, the sacrificial lamb. Your job is simple. Launch hard, draw every cop in the county, then disappear so the real money cars can slip away clean. You lose more races than you win, but every loss burns the streets into your blood better than any GPS ever could. You learn the exact moment the sirens flip on, which alleys eat cruisers whole, and how to make a Civic vanish in 3 turns. Your girlfriend leaves one Tuesday night while you're still scrubbing race gas off your hands. She says she can't sleep next to someone who smells like burnt clutch and broken dreams. You don't beg her to stay. You just nod, light another cigarette, and tell yourself this is temporary. Deep down, you already know it isn't. The streets are teaching you fast. Some things you lose on purpose, and some things you lose forever. Rank 3, Lieutenant/Crew Lieutenant. You now run 2 cars and keep a cracked burner phone stuffed with bookies' numbers. You call the launch order, decide who races first, and pocket the side bets before the tyres even smoke. When a scared 17-year-old kid freezes at the line, you look him dead in the eyes and say, "Drive or get the F out the crew." He drives. He crashes. You make the call to leave him there. Sirens already 3 blocks away. For the first time you feel it. Real power sitting in your chest like cold steel. That same week you plant a fake VIN on a wrecked Civic so the cops chase the wrong ghost, while your boys disappear clean. You don't lose sleep over it. You sleep better than you ever have. The rush feels good for about 30 seconds, then it turns into something colder, something quieter. You realize the kid you left behind wasn't the first compromise, and he damn sure won't be the last. The streets just taught you the real rule. Power only comes when you stop caring who gets left in the rear view. Rank 4, Enforcer/Street Lieutenant. You're behind the wheel of an 800 horsepower sleeper charger that looks like every other beat-up black sedan on the block, but the motor under the hood is pure violence. You never lose a roll race anymore. When a debt goes unpaid, you don't talk. You break fingers in the parking lot while the rest of the crew watches. When rivals try to jump one of your drivers, you ram their doors at 40 miles an hour and keep rolling like nothing happened. People cross the street when they see your car coming. They know the name now. They just don't say it out loud. The first real cash hit's different. 42,000 in a duffel bag after one clean night. You don't blow it on girls or clubs. You drop every dollar on a better cage and a fresh set of slicks. Rent can wait. Your mother calls at 3 a.m. asking why you never come home anymore. You stare at the phone while the charger idles in some dark alley, exhaust still popping, and you realise you don't have an answer that won't break her. So you let it ring. The silence feels cleaner than any lie you could tell. Rank 5, Captain/Division Captain. You're the undisputed crew king. 3 state troopers just called your burner at 2:17 a.m, begging you to pull your drivers off the turnpike before the governor declares a state of emergency. You sip black coffee from a matte black Yeti while the 1,400 horsepower Aventador in your $4 million waterfront garage idles in the background, its exhaust note low and patient like a sleeping predator. With one text, you end a 5-state manhunt, reroute 3 rival crews and clear the entire interstate for your own private midnight run. The cops thank you before they hang up. You set the phone down and feel nothing. You control half the underground racing scene on the East Coast. Every illegal launch from Boston to Miami answers to you. Every bookie pays tribute. Every stolen supercar gets a safe house because you say so. Power this absolute should taste like something. It doesn't. The only thing left is the low rumble of engines in the distance and the quiet knowledge that if you snapped your fingers right now, the entire machine would keep spinning without you ever touching a steering wheel again. Rank 6, Underboss/Crew Underboss. The old boss is paranoid now, jumping at every shadow and hiding in safe houses while the real work still has to get done. So you run it all. The big highway takeovers that shut down 3 lanes at 3 a.m, the $2 million underground tournaments where the bets move in duffel bags, the radar jammers, the drone spotters, and the corrupt tow truck driver who makes your cars disappear before the sun comes up. You make the calls, you set the routes, you collect the money. The crew doesn't even text the old man anymore, and they text you. And for the first time you feel the weight of the whole machine resting on your shoulders instead of just your accelerator foot. One night a rival crew tries to burn your storage unit. You don't hesitate. You send 2 of your guys to their garage with gas cans and a simple order: make sure they're still inside. The flames light up the sky at 2:17 a.m. You watch the live drone feed from your couch, sip your drink, and tell yourself it was just business. The next morning, you haven't spoken to your little brother in 3 years. He's wearing a police uniform now. You deleted his number the day he graduated the academy. Some doors you close so they never open again. You sleep fine. That's the scariest part. Rank 7, Boss/Street Boss. The old king is gone, retired, disappeared, or buried. You never ask and nobody dares tell you. Your face is now blurred on every cop dashboard from here to the state line. You greenlight the biggest run the city has ever seen. 43 cars, full tunnel shutdown, $9 million on the line. You don't drive anymore. You sit on a rooftop 2 miles away with binoculars in one hand and Hennessy in the other, watching your empire tear through the night like black lightning. The engines sound like thunder you control. The bets roll in. The cops are lost. And for the first time you understand what real power feels like. Quiet, cold, and completely alone. You haven't touched a steering wheel in 14 months. Sleep is 3 hours if you're lucky, and you still wake up reaching for the gun that isn't under your pillow anymore. The fear in other crews' eyes is better than any launch you ever felt. But some nights, when the city goes quiet, you stare at the empty passenger seat beside you and realize the kid who used to sleep in a Civic is dead. You killed him the day you took the throne. Now you just keep the machine running because stopping would mean looking at what's left of you, and you already know there's nothing worth seeing. Rank 8, Legend/Untouchable King. You don't have a crew anymore. You have an empire. A private airstrip in the desert where your planes land without questions. 3 shipping containers stacked with seized hypercars that the feds will never touch again. Interpol keeps a dedicated task force with nothing but your ghost profile. No face, no prints. Just a shadow they chase in their sleep. You haven't touched a steering wheel in 6 years. You don't need to. Men who would die for you without being asked now drive every run, every takeover, every bet worth millions. They call you king in whispers. You let them. You sit alone on the top floor watching the security feed. A 19-year-old kid stands in the rain with a cracked phone, waving cars into the same abandoned lot where you once screamed, "Cop!" He doesn't know you're watching. He doesn't know the machine already has him. You feel nothing. No pride, no pity, no warning you could give. Just the cold quiet of a man who traded every real thing, sleep, family, fear, love, for this view from the throne. The cigarette burns between your fingers. You take a slow drag and whisper the only word that still matters. Next. Privacy, trust, freedom, human connection. You didn't lose them. You sold every last one, rank by rank, for this seat at the top. The friends who once rode shotgun are ghosts now, either locked up, buried, or too scared to call. The women who loved you learned fast that your phone only rings for the crew. You haven't driven a car yourself in years because real kings don't risk the wheel anymore. You sleep 3 hours a night with one eye open and a gun under the pillow you never touch. You watch the new kids bleed on the same streets that raised you and feel nothing but the quiet satisfaction that the machine is still fed. This is the view you paid for. Cold, clear, and completely alone. And you'd sign the deal again tomorrow. You no longer know what you would do if you stopped, so you don't stop. Somewhere below, a 19-year-old kid stands in the rain with a cracked phone, waving cars into a parking lot like it's the most important job in the world. He thinks this is about fast cars and respect. He is already wrong. It was never about the cars. It was always about the architecture underneath, the ranks, the fear, the machine that eats drivers alive and spits out kings who can't even remember their own names anymore. The machine doesn't stop, it just finds new kids to run it.